First of all, hi, Reggie Whitley here, and I am so excited that you're joining us for the season 1 premiere of my latest creation, It's CPA Time. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. You can find this podcast visually on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, or you can find them on all of the major podcasting platforms. Without further ado, let's go into episode 1 with Carolyn, Pam, and Almedia.
Hello, everybody. Hello. We want to welcome you to It's CPA Time. And this is something extremely new. So I know you're wondering, what is It's CPA Time? Well, it is 3 girlfriends who come together, have lively conversation, and during the course of that conversation, you're going to get some knowledge, some wisdom, some things that's going to help you along the way. So to break it down, C is for Carolyn, P is for Pam, and A is for Almedia, and that's me. So that's the 3 that makes up It's CPA Time. So girlfriends, how are y'all today?
Wonderful.
Long day, but I'm doing great. Thanks.
Good. All 3 of us have made it through our workday, and so this is the end of our workday. And it's always so good to relax and unwind with people that you love and that you can be honest and transparent with.
It's true.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start just with a little light conversation before we get into the deep, heavy stuff. So let's start with giving some advice. Y'all want to do that?
That's great.
Okay. I'm gonna just give a scenario, and we'll talk about what we see as a solution to that scenario. And the topic for it is help. I've fallen deeply in love with my wife. After over 15 years of marriage, 3 children, countless amounts of vacations, and endless memories, I seem to have found a refined, deep love for my wife. I think about her all day. I send her flowers. I text her love poems every day. I get butterflies when she's around. Being a 40-plus-year-old man, who would have thought that I'd be feeling a teenage type of love? Who would have thought? I haven't felt like that since my wife and I first met 20-something years ago. I know this sounds wonderful, and you're probably wondering what the issue is. Well, emotionally, she's exactly where I've been for the last 10 years. She loves me, but she isn't in love with me. She loves me, but she isn't in love with me. She admits that she enjoys the extra attention and that it makes her feel good about herself. But she clearly reacts in an, oh, that's nice sort of way. I've tried to be as cool about it as I can, but I can feel the crazy oozing out the edges of my mind. So here is the question. Is there anything that I can do to reignite her love for me the way mine has reignited for her? So this guy's been married a long time. 15 years in our culture is 2 lifetimes, really. And so what he's saying is he's so in love with her. And she's just kind of like, oh, that's nice. She loves him, but she's not in love with him. So Carolyn, tell me what would be a solution to him? His question is, Is there anything that he can do to reignite her love for him the way his has reignited for her?
Well, first of all, I did hear that he said she's in the exact same place where he was 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, maybe he needs to take ownership and, wait it out, because remember, he did say he was in that same place 10 years ago. But now he's in a different place and he's willing to reignite it, but she's not.
Right.
So my thing is to be fair, think about where you were and how she may have felt, when you maybe turned her off cold, because remember, we're only hearing his side. And we do have to take all that in account too, so we don't know the whole story, but we see he is sharing some things that he bought her flowers and he did a lot of things to warm her up. But hey, 10 years ago, you were her. So my thing is to first just, pray, be patient, talk to God and say, hey, I know I acknowledge your wrongness, acknowledge you cannot just, men they think with one side of their brain, and women basically use both sides of their brain. So in his mind, hey, she need to be getting on board by now. He doesn't see the other side. And when I say the other side, I'm not his brain, but he doesn't see the other side that he was there 10 years ago.
Right.
He acknowledges in his letter, but he doesn't fully acknowledge. And we have to fully acknowledge the things that we do wrong if we're going to move in a direction where you want things to be healed and fixed. Be fair and say, hey, and that's why it's important that we don't point the finger at each other, because he says we all have sinned and fallen short of his glory. And so on that same wavelength, I think the husband should be thinking along those lines. And that just for one, I'll come back later.
I like that. I like that. Okay, Pam, tell us what you think.
Well, of course, my sister Carolyn said a lot of what I was thinking, and I agree with what she said, but I would also like to add that, as Carolyn said, there's a lot missing from this letter. And if the wife is not responding as he thinks she ought to, then maybe he should, as Carolyn said, address those things that turned his wife cold. It sounds like there may be some trust. Can she trust his actions as being true? We don't know what he did in the past. We don't know what she did. But maybe at this point, she can't trust his actions. She can't trust that his love is genuine. So she may be afraid to release that and make herself vulnerable again.
Good point.
Of course, with 3 kids, she loves him. But a lot of men don't recognize that trust is a key factor in love. If you can't trust your partner and be able to show yourself vulnerable and open,
that's deep,
and naked, to each other, then you're living in a captive situation. So he's going to have patience, and he's going to have to do more than just buy her gifts. Okay. He needs, he'll need to do whatever it is that he needs to do to regain her trust, that it's okay for her to love him fully once again.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
great.
And this is my take on it. I went on a whole nother different tangent. So what I saw in that was he's doing gifts to her. So he's doing love letters to her. He's doing poems to her, all of those things. And that may not even be her love language.
Correct.
Wow.
She might be a words of affirmation girl. She may be an acts of service girl. So sometimes in relationships, we give what we like. And not understanding that doesn't motivate the person that we're giving it to. You know, so if I get really excited, this is me being transparent. When my husband helps me around the house, I love that. And he gets a reward for that. And I don't necessarily like if because I'm a acts of service girl. You got to show me. So I don't necessarily care about a whole lot of gifts. Gifts are fine, but I don't really care about a whole lot of gifts. When you do stuff for me, it shows that you care.
Right.
So she may be that type of girl. And she just may want
pay
to
a bill type of girl. Show your love by paying some bills.
All right, Pam.
And so he may just need to sit down and say to her, boo, I've been doing all this stuff and it's really not working. Why is it not working? And he says, I'm just so crazy about you. And I can, I think about you all the time. I text you all the time. And she's like, she may say like, that's smothering me, or that does nothing for me. And he may have to say, tell me what will work for you, Right. So I just went off on a whole other tangent, just a whole other tangent. I like what y'all said.
I like what you said, though.
Great.
Because most of the time, men do have the tendency to go and buy us things. And like I said, they're only using, and men, please don't be offended, but they're not conversation people. Women are. They'll put on the TV and watch the game or do whatever. They don't want to get into that deep stuff. They don't want to get into all that because they can't process. And as women, we have to understand that men don't process like we do. So guess what? He just see, hey, I want my woman back. I want her to fall in love with me like I'm in love with her right now. I got some hot passion love, and she's not thinking about me. Because when you hurt a person, like Pam said, they don't trust you.
Yes.
So buy me a Lamborghini, honey. I'm sorry, I would drive that sucker, but no. When you break trust, that's it. I mean, it takes prayer and it takes God to do the healing. But is he willing? Let's bring that question in. Is he willing to be patient until she comes back to
to that
at least to that agreement line.
Yeah.
Is he sincere in what he's doing? And then he's trying to please her, but like you said, he needs to find out what it takes to please her. A card and a poem are fine, but when I've been on my feet for 10 hours today, and my feet are hurting.
What you say?
Set me down, massage my feet.
Right.
Bring that little what's that little bubble bath, that you soak your feet in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the home spa pedicure thing.
Right.
That's it.
Do those type of things. If you know I didn't have time to pick up our dry cleaning, go and get it and have
Okay.
it waiting for when I get home, and and don't even point to it. Just hang it up in the closet and I'll know that you did it. Because when you're trying to please somebody, you're not looking for accolades.
Right.
You're trying to meet that person's need
Right.
and show love by meeting their needs and paying attention to them. Like you said, not doing what you think ought to be done to make them happy. Find out what it takes to make them happy and make the effort.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
Me too.
And I've never been married.
Wow,
that's what I
boy,
would
you gonna
tell
be ready though.
That's what I
I
would
like
tell
that a
him.
lot. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't change me over to you.
Mm.
Find out who I am
You
and
better
honor who
say
I
it.
am.
Woo. Do some research. Woo. Research me. I always tell men, challenge me. Challenge me.
Right.
Don't let me see what I've always seen in every other man. I want to see something different. I'm so tired of the, just one direction kind of man.
Okay.
It's like you can figure out everything about him and like, really? This is all I get? You gotta have some up here because I'm more of a old intellectual kind of girl, and you just can't come and, oh baby, I've been thinking about you.
Mm.
Okay, I've been thinking about you too.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah.
So let me say this, Almedia. I was looking at something on the topic that we're on now, and I was reading this one author said this. He said the most common response that I receive from women when I ask them, what do you appreciate most about your husband?
Okay.
And this one woman said, I love the fact that they can shut down their emotions to deal with the crisis, especially if it's my crisis. They don't want to hear.
Yes.
They detach. So how do you, I know I may be going off to the left a little bit.
This good. This girl talk.
When,
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Keep going. Keep going.
What happens when they detach? Somebody answer that for me.
So
how do you get them back to, like he's trying to get her back?
Well, I think with detachment, because I'm gonna answer this from a business perspective. Men have traditionally been the leaders at work. And so being the leader means all day long, I'm gathering information in order to make the best decision. I cannot be emotional concerning it. Okay. So most managers, directors, CEOs, things like that, they make hundreds of decisions in a day. And so when a female has an issue, they are listening to solve the problem.
Okay.
That's how men are wired. And what we want is you to listen so that you could empathize with us. We're not necessarily looking for an answer.
Right.
But a man's major responsibility is to fix it, solve it, pay for it, clean it. So he has to have the solution.
Okay.
In a relationship, in a marriage, we're not looking for you to be that guy when we talk about our issues. We're looking for you to be go to the other side of your feelings so that you can understand.
Oh, wow. That's deep.
Prime example, a woman with small kids. She has supper to get on the table. She has clothes in the washing machine. She got backpacks to look at. She's got homework to help the kids with.
True.
And so the kids are down for the night. They made it through. Okay, it's 9:00. So she and her husband are in the bedroom, and she's just going through her day. This happened, and those kids keep fighting each other all the time. And, I don't know what I'm going to do with them. He's listening to give her an answer. And it may enrage her when he says, well, all you have to do, you got to put Johnny on punishment, and Lisa, you got to take away her phone. I ain't ask you for all that. I'm just telling you what these kids did. I don't really need an answer. So because that's the way that they process 80% of the time, they don't know how to help us. We just want you to listen, because we just got to get it out. Because if I don't get it out, I'm gonna kill somebody.
And see, that's really good.
Okay, because all day long at work, people bring problems to them to solve. I'm not your work. I'm not your coworker. I'm not your subordinate. I'm your spouse. I'm your wife. I need you to listen. And you really don't even have to have a comment. I just need to get it out so I won't kill someone. So that's why they're so, that's why they're able to detach. And that's something that I learned in being in human resources. And when I moved up the ladder in human resources, to understand, to empathize, but to also be able to give the solution. When I was early in my HR career, it's like, oh my gosh, oh, your car quit. What you gonna do? And it's kind of like, okay, your car has quit. So we have some resources for you to use. And we're gonna make sure that happens for you. Let me make some phone calls, things like that. Instead of saying, oh my gosh, it's just, so I had to become the characteristic of the leader. And that's what most men are. And they have not learned the skill set to flip that when they get in the house. That's it.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. And the analogy was awesome. It got my wheels to turning.
Which is true. And because I've heard that about men. And the same can be true for women as well. We're in the workforce. We're in the workplace. We have hundreds of decisions that we're making throughout the day. And so the last thing I want to do when I get home is to deal with a bunch of other issues. But let me just say this. It was a thought occurred to me. They've been married 15 years. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Right.
There probably has been some things that he's done wrong in those 15 years. And in order to smooth it over, he wrote her a poem. He bought her some gifts. He called her and texted her, I love you. I love you. Please forgive me. Well, that wears on a person after a while. So here we are 15 years later, and now you're wondering why these same tricks don't work.
Right.
But that's just me. That's just me. It sounds like some trickery going on.
I was going to say that too, like a little semi-slickness going on, because you like we talked about earlier, what you did to get her to this point. Most women are submissive and they are humble, and they're willing to do whatever. But when you bruise them so bad, it's hard to get them back, to where they need to be and where you need them to be. And I don't think she's just being this stubborn, hard-hearted person.
But she's been down that road before.
Yeah. And so
she didn't wake up one day and said, I don't love you anymore. She didn't wake up one day and said, I don't love you anymore. Something had been building.
Right. That's right. It built up to that.
We can't discount that.
So if we had to sum up advice to give to this man, one thing would be to find a better way to communicate with your wife, figure out what makes her happy, own up to your slickness, whatever that slickness is. Only you know what that slickness is, and know that just because you're on fire now, she can get back on fire once you figure out how to light it again.
Wow.
Right, right.
But be patient.
I
Be
need my
patient.
husband.
What did you say, Carolyn?
I said, I need my husband right about now. Almedia, boy, you hook it up. Go ahead, Pam. I'm sorry.
And look, and that's going to help us to transition to our actual topic that we want to spend some time on this today. And it is, are you ready? That is our topic that we're going to spend some time on today. So as we were just thinking about areas that we can pinpoint, things we can talk about, subjects we can hit, that was one of the first ones that we, CPA, came up with. And so I have another girlfriend. I have a bunch of girlfriends, a bunch of them. And she would say, get ready so you won't have to, no, she said, be ready so you won't have to get ready. And I'm like, she's older than me. I was like, I don't even know what all that means. And so she was like, okay, you work in human resources and you may call somebody on a Thursday for an interview on Friday morning. So if they don't have reliable transportation, they're going to miss an opportunity. So if they were ready before you called, then they won't have to try to scuffle to get ready so that they can make it to the interview. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So I started thinking about that thing. I was like, be ready so you won't have to get ready.
That's good.
And we can talk about how to apply that in so many different areas. So one thing that we don't take ample opportunity of is education, because we are not focused. We don't have the interest in it. We don't see the value of it. And so we just go about, and there could be a free class, a free computer class. And we may be 2 years from retiring. It's like, I don't need that. I ain't studying that. And then say 4 years down the road, a new industry comes to town and you have the experience in all the other areas, but you don't know how to use a laptop.
Wow.
You had just taken the free class that could have given you the introduction to it. You could have been ready when that opportunity came. Growing up, I come from a large family. It's 11 plus 1, so we're a dozen. I have a niece that was raised as my sister. So on the one hand, some may say 11. On the other hand, some may say 12. I usually say 12. So I'm the youngest of that group. Every day in the summer, when you're out of school, you get up, you make your bed up, you go take your bath, your shower, whatever, you put your clothes on, you comb your hair in the summer as a little girl, like 7, 8, 9 years old. And I was like, Mama, why we gotta do this? It's summertime, school is out. And she was like, you'll never know where you may end up going. You don't know who's gonna drop by. Well, having been trained that way, When my older sisters came by and they were going to the store, I was already ready.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the store.
That's good.
Been there, done that.
So it's like it's such a cool concept, but it's like if you're already ready, you're ready for whatever opportunity comes by. So I'm just gonna pass the mic because I just started and went all the way. So whoever wants to pick the mic up can.
Well, I can relate to that story you just told because I learned the same thing. We're at home during the summer. The boys were out tearing up the town, doing popping
Right.
wheelies and getting nasty, and I'm at home. I'm clean. My hair is combed. My mom would come home from work. I need to go to the store. I need to go to the mall.
I get the.
Can I come? Can I come?
I'm already ready.
All of us. There were five of us. And so several of us would say, can I come? Can I come? But normally I would be the only one that could go because I was already ready and she was ready to leave right then. I don't have time to wait for you to get ready.
That's what they used to say.
Yeah.
And so you would get left behind.
Old school.
So I learned to stay ready.
Mm-hmm.
And because going to the store could mean anything. I could end up shopping, getting a new dress or shirt, or we would stop at McDonald's or some restaurant and get something to eat. Now, don't tell nobody. Don't tell anybody when you get home.
Right.
Right.
I get a new toy. I can get some fingernail polish. Oh my gosh.
Some hair bows.
Fingernail polish.
You get hair bows, all kind of stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You end up with the treat because you were ready.
You were ready.
You were ready.
Yeah.
Right. And so my take, and I do want to go back in time when my daddy would in the summer, especially when we were out of school, he worked for Bossy Brothers, so which is the gas company Bossy Brothers. So he would have to go and take chemicals to farmers and do things like this. So every summer I travel with my dad. Like I was a daddy's girl. And he had this thing where he would always try to sneak out from me because he knew I was going to holler and cry and kick and do everything. So I started watching him because he tricked me one time. And he would say things like, go take this $5 to your mom for me. And so I'm trying to stretch between him and her. And I almost wanted to throw it to her, but I know my mom was type, don't throw her anything. So I had to get close enough to try to get it to her. And I'm watching him. I'm ready. So I'm watching him at the corner of my eye, and he started easing to the door. And I'm like, here, mama. And she said, bring it to me. They playing a game on me, but they don't know I'm already ready. So he said, go on and take it to your mom. And she went on in the kitchen because she knew I was going to follow her to the kitchen. Mm-hmm. She said, bring it to mama. Bring it on. And he started bagging up at the door, but he talking. And he said, go on, take it to your mama. And, even as a girl, they must think I'm crazy. So, baby, I went in the kitchen, took my mama that $5, came back. Baby, he was going out that door. Baby, I hardly carried out so bad. And my mom said, girl, if you don't get up off that floor. And she flagged him down. She said, come get this crazy girl. Come get her, take her with you. And he would call me Mino because I always, when I was little, they asked questions. I mean, Mino. So he said, Mino, you can't go everywhere with me. Mino. Okay. He said, this is a man thing. You can't go with me all the time, Mino. And I said, but I want to. And he said, you can't go all the time. He said, because I have to take this chemical. You don't need to be around there. But I was ready. Mm-hmm. They didn't trick me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Not that time anyway, So we do have to kind of like be prepared, because we don't know what things are going to come up in life.
Right.
And I think we should see life as a mission. I've been studying. I was telling Almedia about the other day, like my mind is really not on it, but studying principle-centered leadership.
Yeah.
And the author in that book talks about seeing life as a mission. Be prepared because you don't know what you're going to encounter on the mission. You don't know if you're going to sleep in the desert with snakes. You don't know if you're going to have to go without food. You might get, what is it when the pirates come and take your stuff and all that? You don't know, but you can be prepared. You can take all the tools with you that you need to take with you.
Right.
And so that's my spin on be ready.
Yeah. Yeah. I can remember when I first started like my HR career, and I did a presentation through the Chamber of Commerce. It was talking to the juniors and the seniors about being prepared, being ready. And in that presentation, I said to them, the job that you will work has not yet been created. And so that caught their attention. Usually when you go to a high school setting, the juniors and the seniors, they were in the gym. They're talking. They're just being teenagers. So when I started the presentation, I said, do you know that where you will work and what you would do is not even yet in the universe? So the job that you will work has not even yet been created. And so they was like, she's talking crazy, because they'll just talk back to you. I was like, I'm not crazy, and I'll show you how. I said, at the time I says, I'm 34 years old. I said, when I was 12, there was no cell phone. To them, that was foreign. Like, there was no. I said, there was no cell phone. I said there were pagers and beepers, and the only people that had those were lawyers and doctors. And they was like, man, that's years ago. I was like, yeah, that's a long time ago. And I said, when I was 12, there was not a website. And they go, what? I said, there was no website. When I was 12, there was no computer. There was no laptop. I said, so you guys are 16, 17 years old. I said, what you have to do now is learn what we can teach you. I said, do you not know that a cell phone is just code of zeros and ones?
Right.
And they go, huh? I says, I'm really smarter than I look. So pay attention. So they started listening. Like I said, cell phones is just code that responds to what you put in there to get you an outcome. I said, so if you know math, you can invent stuff. I said, that's what happened with the cell phone. Somebody took zeros and ones. They made a code that allowed it to be put in a mobile device, a mobile platform, a mobile system that had an invention, because they knew math. I said, we can teach you carpentry. And from that, you can build a skyscraper. I said, you can learn science. I said, you know that, what's that thing in chemistry where they have all the elements and stuff and all of that stuff? And so one of the kids says, I hate chemistry. I said, but if you take science and you take carpentry and you take math, you can create something in the universe that does not yet exist. And they were like, Oh my gosh. I said, so you have to be ready now to learn the basics. Science, math, English, history.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So that you can create something in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, I said, so stop giving your teachers a hard time. They're giving you the knowledge so you can use it to create something that's not even here yet. And then you can come back and tell your 9th grade science teacher, you know, I invented a robot that can do this, that, and the third. And then I was like, yeah, that's true. I said, so when I was you guys' age, we had a fax machine, we had a phone that was connected to a house. There wasn't even, remember the first car phones? They were these big huge.
Yeah.
The bag phones.
I said, so, but if
Right.
you learn the basics, you can build on the basics. Because when you have the knowledge and you lean and depend on God, He can give you the vision. And with that knowledge and God, you can have wisdom
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
take it from the stratosphere and bring it to life.
Right. Right.
And so one guy said, so what do you do for a living? I says, I provide an opportunity of a lifetime to people every day. I give them a way to get money. So one of the kids said, she's a drug dealer. I was like, drug dealers are not even up in the daytime, okay? I said, this is 9 o'clock in the morning. Drug dealers are asleep because they've been up all night.
Right.
I said, I give people jobs. I said, I hire people. So I sit in front of a desk and you sit on the other side and you tell me about yourself. And I determine whether or not you can do what our warehouse needs you to do. I said, isn't that interesting? And they was like, yeah. I said, so this is something y'all can understand. I am a rainmaker. I can make it rain. Legally.
You have to put things in perspective.
And they were just like, oh, we like Miss Johnson. When are you coming back? I was like, I'm not gonna come back and talk to y'all. But it's just amazing though, because they were like, okay. I said, yeah, there were no cell phones, there were no laptops. And if I would go to a high school class today, I said there was no Uber, there was no Facebook, there was no Zoom. I said somebody created all of that from science, math, history, those normal things. You can take those things and build stuff.
And you know what? You put it on their level, then they were like, oh, I bet they went, they got it. You know, they can, this generation can never imagine a time when you didn't have internet.
Correct.
You know, they techie, so they don't, the world they live in is not like we all, the three of us sitting here having a dialogue or whatever. They don't, it's like all day, and that's what they do.
That is what they know. That is what they know.
I like what you said. You put it in, you said, I have the ability to make it rain.
Yes.
And so in nature, if I look at it from a social point of view, if she can make it rain, I can make it rain too,
Hello.
And you put it on that level. I love that. I do.
Yeah. Because in doing talks with youth, you have to figure out how to connect with them. And so in that presentation, I also talked about how the knowledge values you. So the teacher has the knowledge, and by teaching, she's transferring it to you. So now you have value that before you walked in her room, you didn't have.
Right.
So when you finish first grade, you know your ABCs, you know how to count, you know shapes, you know colors, you know how to spell words. She has just given you value.
Right.
And I said, so stop fighting the person that's helping you to get the money. Stop it. Stop it. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
That's good. That is good.
Well, I know you all. We're all about the same age.
Yes.
I remember when
Thank you.
TV used to go off at night. Do you remember when TV used to go off?
Yeah.
Yes. Johnny Carson would come on.
Yep.
And then they played the Star Spangled Banner or one of those songs.
They did.
And then
that was it.
That was it.
That was it.
That was
till
it.
the news came on at 4 or 5 in the morning. You
That's
know.
right.
And I still remember the first house on our street that got a VCR.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
We were so excited.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
We were so excited. And the Atari game that would hook up to your TV. And now through, like you said, the passing of knowledge and people thinking and preparing for the future, now you can hold all of those items in one hand. You can call someone, you can speak to someone on the other side of the world, you can play games, you can send messages. I mean, there is so much that is available that people take for granted now.
Right.
And all of that came about as a result of education and preparedness.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Being ready.
Being ready. Somebody was ready.
Yeah.
And I meant to look this up, but I think I heard that a black female invented the cell phone.
I don't know. You're gonna make me look it up.
I'm gonna have to take
that's our homework. That's our homework.
Google. We used to have encyclopedias. Right. Buy one encyclopedia a month until you get the whole set.
Right.
Yes.
Girl. Yes. And baby, you can just Google.
And baby, don't be too poor. Don't be too poor, because all you're gonna have is A through M. Okay, you ain't gonna never get Z because you ain't got no money. your house may have A through M, and your aunt may have N through Z, but you made it work. You shared what you knew.
That's what we did, Pam. You are exactly right.
You're exactly right.
When you had to do research, you was like, "Dog, we only got E and L," but you'll call Almedia or something, and hey, you got D over there?
Yeah.
And we stuck together.
And what I loved about those encyclopedias, that was like my first introduction to like slick pages. Baby, that book felt good in your hands.
Yeah.
Yes.
You thought you was something. Yeah. If you had encyclopedias, you thought you was something.
Yes.
You know, hey, we got encyclopedias. You know.
And you better wash your hands before you touch one.
Before you touch one.
Boy.
Yep. Yep. That is so true.
That's how much they were valued.
That's
exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Because our parents worked hard to pay for them. And I think maybe it was like $2 something, the payment plan or something.
Right.
But baby, you didn't, and when you were finished with them, you put them back.
Right.
Not all over the house. You didn't write in them. You treasured those.
No, right.
You treasured. Yes, ma'am. You did. You did.
Exactly.
This has been so awesome, y'all. This has been so good.
I've enjoyed it. I hope our listeners will end up enjoying and pulling knowledge that will help them go further, improve their status, whatever it is that they need. And if somebody needs some advice, are they able to comment?
I don't know. We have to get with our producer to see. So we'll find that out and we'll let you know in the next episode. So this is going to wrap up our episode for tonight. or if you're watching it in the morning. And we want to thank everybody for tuning in and spending time with us, because anytime it can be a CPA time. See you later.
Bye.
Good night. Goodbye,
Thanks
everyone.
for tuning in. Thank you.